welcome to the next episode. Does that make sense? The next episode of the Life in the IEP Tribe podcast.
Sure.
We'll go with that. I think we're like on number 6 now.
Yeah.
The newest, the freshest. No. We'll just say that we're now starting episode 6 of the Life in the IEP Tribe podcast. Nope, I'm not going to do it. I see. Okay, so you guys can't see us, but I have this board that I use, and it's got all this really cool, like, built-in stuff. And I really want to push the buttons, but I don't know that it's necessarily the best use of our time and equipment. So how are you doing today, Laura?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
You know, I'm pretty good. So we're recording this midweek. And oddly enough, it's been a long time since I have felt this awake at almost 5:30 in the evening in the middle of the week. Usually we hit Wednesday and I'm already Friday tired.
Right.
Like I'm whooped. But no, feeling pretty good. It's been a good week with our kids. Our kids have been awesome. Of course, we can't talk about them as far as who they are and whatnot. But I will tell you this story, though. So we were hanging out in my classroom, and in our school that we work at, they do these theme days, right?
Right.
For the holidays. And so some of these kids that we've had them for multiple years. This isn't their first time with us, and they're not new to the group or anything like that. So they're pretty familiar with all the paras and us, and so we had the ugly sweater day. And one of our paras, who, I mean, she's been in this game a long time and knows this particular student, has known him for many years. Well, I mean, as many as he can be because he's in elementary school.
Right.
But she looks at the student and says, "Oh, student's name, I love your ugly sweater." That boy, his smile turned upside down, and he's like, "Ah!" And as soon as the parrot said, I thought to myself, this probably wasn't the best use of words. And she had to rush over and console him because he was convinced that this teacher of his called him ugly.
I heard that his lip poked out pretty far and started.
Yeah, if he would have tried to walk, he would have tripped on it.
Mm-hmm.
But he got over it pretty quick, and she felt bad, and we all laughed. I mean, we didn't laugh at a crying kid. So anyway, nobody got laughed at, nobody got poked fun at, but it was a funny situation.
Yes.
And so as we move into this holiday season, we were chit-chatting, and there's some things that we think would be beneficial from the parent side of the IEP and in as far as approaching holidays with our children that have special needs. And there's a lot that comes along with that. So my question for you, Laura, to get this thing kicked off is, what are some great ideas for the holidays?
Okay.
No pressure.
I know you talked about from the parent side, but I think there's a couple of things like from teacher side as well. And, as we know that our students with disabilities, they have different, likes and dislikes than the norm. And for teachers, we found it difficult to figure, okay, so what do we do for some of these celebrations? What do we have? So we take the Grinch, the Grinch's, what is it called? Jubilation. And they have the roast beast, and they have these cute Grinch flavored thing, or not flavored.
That sounds really horrible. Weird. I feel like I just licked an ashtray.
Well, yes. Yeah. Anyway, so Grinch themed foods, and, you start like putting green pudding in front of our children, and that's not going to go over very well. Or you try to give them grapes and bananas and strawberries, although it might look like a Grinch head with the Santa hat, they're not going to get it and be like, no. So sometimes having parties is difficult this time of year for the teachers. And I know one thing that we've done in the past is, hey, just have your child bring in their favorite sweet or salty treat, and because not all of them like sweets either.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just have a pizza party. They don't all like pizza. And so, or they don't like the brand of pizza that we got. And
Oh, that's the thing.
that is the thing. Or chicken nuggets. We can't just go and get, a box of chicken nuggets and ask the kitchen to cook them for us. And so that can bring some struggles. So what we've, as teachers, what we found works is asking the parents for donations to do that, or like at the end of the school year last year we had a breakfast
Mm-hmm.
because all our kids like breakfast foods, it seems like, especially if they're carbs.
Yep.
And so, having a breakfast party. But so with that, I also want to stress to parents, don't worry about the norms when it comes to buying for your child or doing the things that your friends are doing with their kids. And, your kid might not want to go see Santa, and that's okay. That's okay. Because really, and I know, Jared, you and I have had this conversation about Xander, well, we wish he could do this, or we wish he would enjoy that, but he really doesn't care. He doesn't feel like he's missing out on anything, where we might feel like he's missing out. He's living his best life, and none the wiser of or not, maybe the wiser, not caring. So I think that would be, my first suggestion is just don't worry about what everybody else is doing, or try keeping up with what everybody else wants to do. If your kid has no interest in having an elf visit them every year, it might be terrifying for some kids that there's this thing in my house that keeps moving around every day. And that's okay. So I think just feel out what your kids want to do, and make new traditions if you need to.
So, teachers of special education classes, feel free, just to reiterate, feel free to focus in on the things that your kids do enjoy versus trying to get them to enjoy things that they may not just because other classes do it. And then as for parents, it's kind of tough. So, just the other night, we were watching, I guess we're allowed to, we were watching a movie the other night, and it was, what was it called? Wonka. That's what it was. And if you haven't seen it, it's pretty I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it's the story about Willy Wonka before he has his chocolate factory. And it was pretty cool. I guess the movie came out maybe a year or so ago. But while we're watching this movie, I found myself, like the young man that was playing Willy Wonka, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking to myself, well, he looks familiar. I'm just watching and watching. And then it hit me. As we're watching this movie, I got to thinking, oh my goodness, he looks like Xander.
Yes.
Like the hair and the face and everything. I mean, he just looks like Xander. And then so I guess we're going to have some real conversation for a second here. So then my mind starts to kind of wander, and I started thinking about Xander and how, we're watching this movie, and he's never going to be a part of a musical production. He's not going to be any type of entertainer from a traditional standpoint, right? There's a lot of the norms that we see around us that he's not going to get to participate in. And then for a moment, it's kind of heartbreaking, because you think about the things that you enjoy as a human being. You think about the things that you enjoyed as a kid. And to have the thought cross your mind that my child that I would do anything for is never going to experience some of these things. And this isn't me saying that if you if your kid has special needs or whatever, that they're doomed to a life of misery. And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is that if we look at our child's situation realistically, right, based on evidence, based on normal progression of of child growth. Some of our students, some of our children are not ever going to be average. They're not going to be what is considered normal. And one of the things I'm super thankful for is that we have this relationship where we can talk about these things and we can, share with each other, and knowing full well that, again, Xander's not a burden. We love him.
Right.
And that we're not saying we're giving up on anything that he may possibly accomplish in the future. But again, if we're going to tie it to evidence, there's a lot of things that he's not going to experience. And it's really great to be able to have those conversations and to hear each other and then be reminded, like you said, I don't know that there's a part of his life that he dislikes. I mean, think about all the things that we go through in life, and, we grunt and groan every morning because we got to get out of bed and go to work.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's normal life. I don't care what you do. You can love what you do and still
Right.
not feel like getting out of the bed and going. He doesn't have that.
No, he is up, and sometimes before his alarm goes off, he is up and ready to go, and he's sitting out here 20, 30 minutes before the bus gets here and smiling and giggling and all sorts of things. He's ready to go.
Right. And so
at 19, as a 19-year-old high school student, should not be this excited to go to school.
No, but he does. He loves it. And we have been fortunate that Xander's had great teachers over the course of his life. He's, grown up in the same county and been in the same school system since he started. But it's hard. And so then we start to think about, we start to kind of feel sorry for ourselves. And that's what it is at the end of the day. But that's okay. Find somebody you can talk to about that, right? There needs to be safe spaces. And if you don't have a safe person, you can email us. If you know us, you can call us. If we work together, we can have the conversation face to face. But know that it's okay to experience those feelings and share them with somebody. It doesn't make you a bad parent.
Right.
And so it reminds me, I'm going to share a story real quick, and then I'll stop hogging all the airspace. I talk a lot. I really do. I mean, sometimes, anyway. So let's see. I don't remember exactly how many years ago it was, but Xander was little. He couldn't have been, maybe preschool age, maybe a little bit older. But Xander, when he was little, his motor went 100 miles an hour nonstop from the time he opened his eyes in the morning till the time he closed them when he fell asleep. He just went, and stopped. There was no speeding up. There was no slowing down. And my parents do this really cool thing to where they try to set up experiences for our family around the holidays. Instead of people just getting a bunch of gifts for each other, they'll try to find something that we can all do together, whether it's go stay at a cabin or get an Airbnb somewhere that'll hold the family, and really just spend time together and have a great time. Well, this one particular year, my parents rented a cabin at a state park that's roughly about an hour and a half away from us, 2 hours.
Sounds right, yeah.
Somewhere in that vicinity. And this particular Christmas, it was myself and Brandon and then Xander. So it's me, Xander, and his older brother, Brandon. And we went to go meet the family out at this cabin in the state park. And, we get out there, and like my brother's out there with his family, his kids, and my sister's out there with her kid, and people were staying the night, right? So everybody's there. We're going to stay for a few days, but it wasn't going to work for us. Like, there's no way that Brandon and Xander and I, and that's with my family, who has been nothing but supportive this time. My goodness, we need to put some pictures out. Xander hanging out with his grandfather, who is his best friend.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, without a doubt. So it's not even...
And Grammy that is going here, there, and everywhere with the kid. Make sure that he's taken care of.
Yeah. My family's been such a great support system.
Yes.
But there's no way we're staying there more than the course of that day. because while some kids can just go play on the playground and their parents sit and watch, or walks can be taken down by the river, I have a son that as quick as can be, and you turn your head and he's gone.
Has no fear.
Right. He's taken off, and so it got to where it's like I was spending more time corralling him than spending time with my family. And so I get back in the car and I'm making that drive home and can't help but think to myself, not that it's not a matter, again, of hating the situation, hating what's going on, but the idea that at that time that my son can't just go play on the playground with those other kids.
And he has two cousins that are
same age,
born the same year.
Yeah.
And, that the two cousins played together and grew up together. And, Xander grew up, he's the same age. And that there wasn't that connection there that was between the other two. It's hard.
And we talk about that kind of stuff pretty often. So if by some chance you're a parent of a child and you find yourself in these situations, number one, know that it's normal. It's normal to have feelings like that. You love your kid. You want them to experience all the things that you can think of that you enjoyed experiencing. You want them to be able to have that same opportunity. So it's heartbreaking when there is sometimes a reality presented that it's not going to happen. So it's okay to feel these feelings, but it's so important to talk to people about it. Find somebody safe to talk with and know that it's okay to have these desires for your kid.
And sometimes these experiences that they had no interest in or could not participate in when they were young, where you would see the typical child participating in them, sometimes like a lot of other milestones that they have, they may just be delayed. Xander still likes to go see Santa Claus, where when he was little, he didn't want to have a whole lot to do with them. But he still likes them now. In fact, the high school has Santa come see his class. And so sometimes that, although you might not experience these things as when they're little, they might like them when they get a little bit older. So you might just have to delay these experiences or find the things that they do like. And Xander loves to travel. And Xander loves to look at Christmas lights. And so, sometimes we'll just drive around and let's look at the lights, or the trolley tours of the lights. That's one of the things that we like to do. And but that the whole family can do, but that he enjoys too. It may not be something you or I grow up doing, but now we've started this new tradition because it's something that he enjoys, that everyone can enjoy.
Well, and something that I want to add too is that, so this particular state park and cabin that we went to however many years ago, we're going to go visit again this Christmas season. So it's going to be almost, gosh, I don't know, probably 14, 15 years, almost to the day.
Right.
And trust and believe that boy's going to be on that playground.
Well, when we've gone one other time, since your first experience, this will be the second time that we've gone.
Yep, that's right.
And the second time he went, and he had a good time. We spent the night. He slept in the room in the bunk beds with his best friend Paul.
Yep.
So we were able to spend the night. And
so, and just to tie to what you're saying though, is that all those things that at that point I was like, oh, he's not going to experience this. He's not going to enjoy this. Well, he's enjoying the crap out of it now.
Right.
And that's okay. And that's a good thing, right? There are things that he's tying to. So I guess that one of the things that we would kind of challenge our fellow parents, in this journey is really take some time to kind of figure out what is it that your kid jives with, and be cool with that. Because I don't know how much money we've spent on toys and
trinkets.
Yeah, this and that. You're like, okay, well, the kid should like this. Just for him to smile and say thank you and put it down and
Right. Maybe that evening or the next day, pick it up and look at it. But there's no sense in buying things just to buy things. And I know for Xander, and this may not be for everybody, but for Xander doesn't go and count how many presents that his brothers get.
Nope.
And how many presents he gets. Because I know keeping things even is kind of a big thing for a lot of families. And so there's been times that Xander has had same amount of presents as his siblings, and then there's also been times where we've spent a little bit more money on Xander because instead of buying him the toys and the items, we took him somewhere. And so it was like a family gift, but it was really his gift. Like last year we went to Wild Adventures because the kid loves some roller coasters and he loves some Christmas. So if we could have, he could see all the Christmas trees. You ask him, Xander, what do you want? What do you want for Christmas? A Christmas tree. Well, you have a Christmas tree, a star. You have a star, a present. What present? A red present.
Yep.
So he can't even,
he's just like, whatever.
He just likes the holiday. He loves watching the movies. He loves just the experience of it, and really doesn't pay, isn't upset with what he does or does not end up with under that tree.
And even with the whole idea of experiences, I think it's really cool that you mentioned the lights. I mean, that's something that doesn't cost anything more than gas. Like you and the kid or your family, whatever that family dynamic is, get in the vehicle and go look at some lights, and that that doesn't cost a thing in it, but it's an experience. It's so what we have found is experiences make all the differences in the world, and so we're like super jazzed to see what it is that how he responds to what he gets this time around, and we would love to hear any, I don't know, suggestions or ideas or, what does your kid love to do? Maybe you're a teacher. What student that you might have with special needs or an IEP or, whatever. What do you find that they really jive with and they really connect with and really enjoy? Because at the end of the day, I mean, stuff fades away anyhow.
Right.
And I don't know that I have anything from Christmas when I was a kid, right? I don't know that there's anything that was so magnificent I held on to it for my entire life. But
sure, I have Christmas ornaments.
Now you do, because you will keep things and store, not like a hoarder, but you hang on to stuff. I tried that before and I forget where I put things. I remember one time, here's a fun Christmas story. So these kids always do these, the schools do these like Santa shop where the kids can go buy stuff for their families, their siblings and their parents and all that. So we were living in Pennsylvania at the time, and my parents had given me money, and I went into this whole Santa shop and went shopping for whatever. And I remember specifically buying my brother, who's 6 years younger than me, a couple of Hot Wheels cars. And so he came into our room, and I was trying to hide them until Christmas. And so he ended up finding them. I don't know how I found, if he saw me put them where I put them, or if I don't know. But he ended up finding the Hot Wheels cars. And I got so mad at him. I'm like, all right, cool. You're not getting them. And of course I didn't mean it, because that's just mean. But I swear to you, I have no idea where I put those cars. Still to this day, I don't know where they are. I don't know where they went.
Oh, he probably found them.
Well, now you say that, he probably did, because he's a sneaky little cuss. Yes.
He probably found them and went and played with them and hid them himself.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I did. I felt pretty crappy about that. But I don't really remember why I told that story. Oh, we were talking about stuff. Yeah,
and having things from. But yeah, presents presents are good, and kids love to open presents. We're not saying don't get your child presents. We're not saying that at all. But give them those memories and those experiences too. If you have a child like ours that he just wants to go and do, and I know we have a friend and coworker too that had said her son loves to experiences and loves to be outside. So a lot of their gifts are outside items, even though it doesn't get as frigid here as it does in other places. And so they can use those outside toys a lot longer there. But even if it's cold, I know they'll take them outside to play.
Yeah. Well, yeah, where we live, it's winter for I don't know, a week and a half or something like that. But I'm not complaining. So, with that said, do you have anything else you want to add, Laura? Let's do a recap. If you're a sped teacher, know your students. Take the time to see what they like. And if they don't care, then don't put the time in. It's okay to find the things they like and invest in that, your time and whatever you want to invest in that, so that you can help them have an experience.
Speaking, I guess I do have something to add.
Speaking
of that, like we did last year, traditionally, teachers get little, goodie bags and some different, candies and toys. And over the years, we found out that our students really don't care about those things. So last year, we got a class present. We pooled our money and got them a trampoline for the class. And instead of sending home goodie bags, will probably either sit at the bottom of their backpack or make their way into a donation box or bottom of a toy box. And
I'm telling you, Xander comes home with stuff every Halloween and Christmas, and if we didn't eat it,
right,
it would be there the next Halloween or Christmas, because he does not care.
No.
But luckily for him, he's got a dad who will eat just about anything, so I help him with the candy when I can. So 1, find out what the kids like. Invest in that. Watch the smiles. Number 2, if you're a parent, it is okay to, 1, be kind of bummed if you realize that there's some things that your kid is not going to be able to experience right now. But know that if they're not interested in it now, they can't be disappointed, right? They're not going to sit there and be upset about something that they don't care about.
Right.
So what do they care about? Right. So we talked about Xander's experience. Xander, you can drive him around the block and he's all about it, right?
Especially if you take him in a convertible with Paul.
Yeah. We might have to show that picture, because that kid was all about that ride, going out getting some soda pop with his paw. But really do take the time to enjoy whatever is there. So, football story, and then I'm probably going to be done. There's an application to it, I promise. So, I've been a football fan for as long as I can remember. I was raised a Dolphin fan. Yes, it hurts. It's hard. But I am. And so I've been fortunate enough to follow the Dolphins during the Tom Brady era in New England. And that guy, golly, I'm pretty well convinced that he sold his soul to the devil, because nobody wins games like that. No, I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, so Tom Brady retires, comes back, plays again, wins a Super Bowl, and anyway, doesn't matter. He wins a bunch of Super Bowls. Can't stand the guy. That's not true. I don't even know him, but I'm going to go on with my story.
You wish he was a Dolphin.
I did. Every game I watched, I say, I hate this guy. I wish he was a Dolphin. But there was this interview, and he was talking about how he was successful as a quarterback, and his response was really cool. He said, I took whatever the defense gave me, and then if the big play was available, I'd take that. But I always took what they gave me. I never tried to force anything that wouldn't work. I never tried to force a play just because I wanted that play to happen. I looked at what was in front of me, and I did what I took what they gave me. So again, this is coming from a quarterback that's played in 10 Super Bowls, 10, 9, and won 7, which is ridiculous. Nobody does that. But that same concept can bring an awful lot of joy to our classrooms, to our families, and that is, look at what you have right in front of you and take whatever is given. If little Jimmy just wants Hot Wheels, then get little Jimmy Hot Wheels.
Right.
If little Jimmy don't care about Hot Wheels and he wants to just run around in the backyard, find something that he can run around in the backyard with. If he doesn't care about running around in the backyard and he just likes to go for a ride, just take him for a ride. And that can be a part of the gift, because what you're building is an experience that's just going to grow. You're building on these experiences over the course of life. And one of the great things about experiences is memories.
I'd be inside out, making those core memories.
Yep. Same thing. And those are the things that are so incredibly important. So recap, and then we're done.
Recap the recap.
Recap the recap. If you're a teacher, go, Curtis.
Know your students. Get to know them. Learn them.
If you're a parent,
same thing. Just focus on what they like, what they enjoy.
Tom Brady.
Love him. You hate him. No, you hate
him.
Wish he was a dolphin.
Wish he was a dolphin. So with that said, we're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you for hanging out with us. I want to say thank you to our one listener, Mom. I love you. And that's it. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Have a good day.
Oh, and a Merry Christmas, because I don't know if we're going to do this again before then.
No?
Oh, wait, no, we'll do it. Yeah. Why was I, you know what?
I don't know. We got a couple.
It's time for me to
more
stop
weeks,
talking.
right?
We need to go ahead and push stop.
I think we at least got 2 more episodes before
all
the festivities.